So today we have a lot of meetings and we're doing a lot of prep work for obviously the launch, but typically the first or second Wednesdays of each month, we do what we call advisor roundtables inside of our entire brokerage. So we have one of those starting off here in about 10 minutes. It's a company-wide call on Zoom, talking about the market, what's update, different things that are coming out, different regulations with all this commission compression stuff that's happening. So we'll lead that, and then we obviously have to do some big filming today with our production team, Flying Ostrich Media, doing a couple of videos from myself to the sellers, from myself to the buyers, really just making sure that we're getting the message out there for what it means for them post-launch. So that should be really exciting today. So we're going to get you guys to come with us and do all that stuff. But yeah, so anytime we lead the advisor roundtables, it's always fun because we have about 80 to 100 of our advisors all on the call, talking and collaborating, which really makes this brand so special. So it's always a good thing. We have like an exclusive relationship with Zillow called Zillow Showcase, where it's actually really cool. Zillow has this great product where for listings, you can showcase your listing, which means it makes it very different than every listing in all of MLS, the highlighted, the analytical data, all of this stuff. And we're the only brokerage in the entire city that offers this. One of the craziest things about this is because we're a part of Showcase and because we have this exclusive relationship, we get exclusive market data than anybody else. Leaving Engel & Volkers, and we are going to be going to Christie's International Real Estate, which is a huge deal. Yeah, where everything and anything that you guys hopefully need, we're going to have for you seamlessly. Our team is now working every single day to make sure that we have every system in place to make your life as easy as possible. And I want you guys to know what's going on. I want you guys to be excited what's going on, because this is a huge deal. Like billion-dollar companies in our industry don't just change brands. And that, I think, is what makes this so exciting. I think our team is very excited. And I want you all to be excited as well.
Do you know that?
LFG?
Yeah, all the time.
That's good. I love it. Yeah. So we're here with our production company, Flying Ostrich Media. We're gonna film some behind the scenes videos to like our sellers and to our buyers, because through the transition, obviously we're bringing them with us. So there's a lot of legal things that we have to make sure that they know about the transition. So we're gonna make our advisors' life a little bit easier. We're gonna do some content for them so that whenever we do make the transition, they can just send it to the seller, they can send it to the buyer, and just make it nice and easy, really professional, and make sure that the transition is smooth. So we're gonna do that today, and hopefully it goes one take, one smooth only, but we'll see how it goes, so we'll see. What I realized is there's 300,000 moving parts that nobody will ever see. All they're gonna see is the end product. And so I wanted to document everything to make sure that, number one, I had what we do, right? But also I think people will have a real appreciation for how much work actually goes into it. Cool. That's my title. I look good?
Edit everybody.
Yes, sir. Both are formatted.
I'm pausing in between.
Yeah.
Also as one.
Absolutely. I can even take a little second, I'm able to run it,
back there?
Okay.
and then when we get to this next phase, I can just take a pause right here,
Okay.
and then that way you can kind of have a second to breathe, and then we can jump right back into it.
Perfect.
Yeah, that looks better.
Hi everyone, it's me. I wanted to take a few minutes to personally talk to you about a major announcement for our company and for all of us as a team. After over 2 years of thought, research, planning, and careful consideration, we have made the decision to transform our brokerage from Engel & Volkers First Coast to Christie's International Real Estate. I know, you hear a change, the first question is why? Engel & Volkers has been an incredible platform for us, and together we've built one of the most successful brokerages in the entire country. But as I looked at where we were today, and more importantly, where we were going in the future, it became clear that Christie's International Real Estate is the right partner to help us get there. Christie's is not just a real estate brand. It's part of the legendary Christie's Auction House, the #1 auction house in the world for the last 5 years. A 250-year-old global icon trusted by the wealthiest individuals in the world for the sale of fine art, jewelry, and rare assets. That reputation and recognition now extend directly to the real estate practice. When buyers and sellers see the Christie's name, they immediately associate with luxury, credibility, and exclusivity. Christie's has one of the most powerful international referral networks in the world. This means more exposure for your listings and more opportunities for you to connect with buyers well beyond our market. In addition, we are going to own the entire Northeast Florida region from St. Simons Island, Georgia to Deep Flagler Beach. It'll be our company, our vision, and our team. And yes, that includes opening a new office in the near future in St. Augustine. The Christie's name carries instant recognition and credibility. Walking into a listing appointment or meeting a new client, that name gives you an edge and it communicates trust and luxury before you even start talking. Whether you're selling a $500,000 home or a $5 million estate, Christie's elevates the perception of every listing you bring to the market. It positions you personally as a luxury agent connected to one of the most respected names worldwide. I want you to know that this decision wasn't made about a brand name. It's about giving each of you more tools, more opportunity, and more credibility to grow your business. We've already proven that we can compete with anyone in this market. Now with the Christie's brand behind us, we're raising the bar even higher. Thank you for believing in me, trusting our collective vision, and continuing to push our brokerage to the top of the industry, both locally and nationally. Together, we're going to make Christie's International Real Estate First Coast the premier brokerage in our entire region. I guarantee it. All right, so we're here, it's Labor Day, but we can't take any days off because we only have 24 days to the launch. So today, Jimmy and myself are just here doing a lot of the operational stuff. What do we need to do to make sure that we're taking the next steps each and every day? But it's kind of fitting because we're in our Jack's Beach shop. This one's always gonna be near and dear to my heart. It's the first shop we ever opened back April 30th of 2018. But also this is the shop that we're closing in just a little bit less than 2 months essentially. So I'll give you guys a quick tour. This office, when we built it out, was an old tanning salon. So a lot of this stuff was already built, and you know, this 27-year-old kid had no idea what he was doing. I'm like, oh yeah, this design will work. So we have the conference room in here. I always wanted a glass to fit kind of the Engel & Volker's kind of shop concept. But down the hallway here, this is one of my favorite pieces ever. I have a friend up in Cleveland who created this customized. I told him I wanted a check art piece, and he was like, oh yeah, what do you want to do with it? I'm like, dude, just surprise me, I have no idea. So I sent him all the checks from 2019, and he created this, which is really, really cool. So this is the first one we ever did back in 2019. We only sold 180 million in production, which is kind of crazy to think that last year we did just under $1 billion 4 years later. So it's pretty cool. So some of these pieces, even though we're transitioning companies, will always be very, near and dear to my heart. So we've joked for a while that this office is kind of like the redhead stepchild compared to all the other ones. And I can't be more excited about our new headquarter office opening in Atlantic Beach. But this one will always be sentimental. This was an article that we were part of, our magazine, of the Real Producers magazine here whenever we first opened. This was the very first photo shoot we ever did as a company. There's only like 9 of us. What's crazy is out of those 9, 7 of those agents are still with us, which is really, really cool. So this is back all the way back in 2018. So pretty crazy how time has flown, and now we're closing this office and kind of getting out of Jack's Beach, going down to Atlantic Beach. It's kind of surreal, but definitely ready for it. And this office has been great for the time, but definitely time to take the next steps. So you can definitely tell this is the first office I've ever had, because whenever we started winning awards or whatever else, I wanted to put everything up. So you have some significant milestones on here. I mean, you have the article, obviously, from when we first opened. This is the ribbon from our very first ever ribbon cutting, which is kind of cool. You can see back, where we ranked in the cities. This is in 2019, we were 14th in the city. To give you an idea, now we're 4th. As you can see, kind of the progression throughout the years. But just some really cool things, 40 under 40, top 50. This is the first time we ever made the Fast 50 growing companies in Northeast Florida, which now we've made it 4 in the last 5 years. But that was a cool award. 40 under 40 again, Marquis Who's Who's, when I was featured in the Florida Realtor magazine. When I was on the cover of the top 100 people in real estate, Ultimate CEO. This one's really cool. This is whenever we finished first in the entire Northeast Florida region for fastest growing company of any company in Northeast Florida. this was in 2023. It's over a 3-year stretch. I think the average of percentage of growth, we grew by over 320% in those 3 years. So that was a pretty surreal moment. Definitely a funny story for a later vlog, a different episode. But yeah, so when I come in here, it's just pretty surreal, to be honest with you, because it's sometimes this business can just be so day to day and grueling and all this stuff. I kind of look at this wall and say like, wow, like look at everything we've accomplished. Look at everything that we've been able to do in just such a short period of time. So all of these plaques will come with me to the new shop, but it's just always cool to see. Some of the very big benefits of partnering with a company like Christie's is there's awesome companies all around the world. But here in Jacksonville, in Northeast Florida, a huge feeder market for us is Atlanta. And you look at Christie's in Atlanta, that's Ansley. They're one of the biggest brokerages in the entire country. You know, they have 500 agents, 7 offices, and last year they did 4.1 billion, which, yes, that's with a B, gigantic number. So what we've been able to do is we've been able to go there, meet with their team and say, hey, you know, what do you guys think that the Christie's brand helps you with the most? What's helping you guys build market share? You know, all of these things, kind of getting the story of that company. And we've been able to kind of dive into a lot of the pieces that they have and, you know, be able to work with them and say, well, can we have some of that, right? So we're going to dive into, you know, what they do, you know, just some of the marketing and stuff. I mean, it's just absolutely jaw-dropping and beautiful, and kind of release a lot of these things when it comes to, you know, all of this stuff when it comes to, you know, our agents. So that's what we're doing today. We're kind of diving into just different pieces, getting with their team on, you know, what we can create both in Jacksonville, but, you know, in our local market, and really just fine tune, and that way we can give our agents, you know, room to grow and give them tons of customization that looks pretty and looks good. And so that's what we're doing today. We're the 14th brokerage in the entire country out of 88,000. So yes, we do a lot of things well, but you start getting around these brokerages who are 3, 4, 5 times bigger than us, which seems insane. You just become enamored by, oh my gosh, they do everything really well, you know? But what's great about it is they're all open. They're saying, you know, Corey, we were in your shoes once, because you have to be at 1 billion before you get to 4 billion, right? And so learning from them of what they did, and, you know, hey, we made this mistake, you know, don't do that, or hey, Corey, this really worked for us, are just invaluable. And there's no monetary value that you can put on that, because there's no such thing as, like I said, you know, there's no brokerage playbook. You're not calling a hotline and saying, what do I do this? How do I answer this question? What do we do for this? You got to just be around the right people, and you got to be around with the companies who have been there before, which is important. Thank you guys so much for watching our latest episode. Continue to follow along as we take you through this entire journey. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on so you guys can stay up to date with all the latest videos we're going to be dropping. Thank you.